Welcome to my video, or rather it's a portal. This is a power video, a kind of like Osiris 101. This is what this, or who this video is dedicated to, and in on off as we move through this kind of like final stages of October. Now, yesterday was very powerful because, not that I'm an astrologer, I know you guys on here, you'll know more about it than me, but I'm just going to chuck it into the sacred circle. Yesterday, today's the 24th, the 23rd, there was a closing off of 12, 13 years. It's just so many ending of cycles, right? It's crazy. And it was the last degree in Pisces, which is the last zodiac sign, and that closed off 12, 13 years of whatever, you know. So we've got all of these macro and micro deaths going on right now, and this is going to carry on until the end of the year, because as we know, 2026 is a 1 year. So we're all wrapping up, you know what I mean? So Osiris has been on the outskirts. Osiris has been very much with Isis as we've moved through the month of October, and all of the teachings have been orientated towards Isis. So we very much experienced her energy in our space as we've moved through very intense pockets of death. So basically now we are coming into, so we've died. We've been in the rebirth quite a lot. We've been oscillating in and out, and now we're coming into resurrection, which is why Osiris is making himself very much known. As I've already mentioned on previous videos, Thoth came in like pretty much near in the beginning of the month saying, hey, November's mine. And I was already saying November is going to be an embodiment month. So it's actually on point as to who's showing up to assist us and guide us, and who's showing up to activate their frequency within us as we move into physical sacred architecture. And isn't it interesting as well that we always kind of orient to the divine feminine deities, Sekhmet. I mean, she's always around, but Sekhmet, Hecate, we've got Isis, you know, Nephthys. But now all of a sudden the boys are turning up, and we've got a very powerful presence. I mean, Horus has been around big time, but Osiris and now Thoth is coming in, and it's strong presence. And I want to use that word a lot for this video, presence. Now, in my experience, when I channel the feminine deities and the masculine deities, I've now realized how different their frequencies actually are. The masculine, the divine masculines, are more of a powerful presence. Like when I channel Merlin or Thoth or Osiris even, they don't speak that much, but they speak a little bit. It's very deep, and you feel the message more in the frequency, rather than a very powerful, clear narrative when you channel the divine feminine. So I find that very interesting that the men kind of like, or the divine masculines, have the presence, right? So presence, think about that. Presence is power. Presence is protection. Presence is, you know, like security and safety. And that's exactly the role of the divine masculine in your physical life, whether it's a brother, father, husband, whatever. And also your energy life, meaning the divine masculine in you has that powerful, grounding, embodied presence. It's the divine masculine that's going to bring the embodiment of all of this divine feminine energy. If you prefer to just circle with the females, absolutely fine. But until you have a conscious connection and a realization, that's another word I'm going to be using a lot because, stick with me here. A realization, I'm having such a problem with my words today. Realization of the divine masculine, kind of acknowledging them. You're going to find it quite difficult because remember, everything is about balance. So it's now time for us to scooch over a little bit, let the divine masculine in and come into balance with our divine feminine. Because remember, I've said in other videos, the only way we pass go, divine masculine, divine feminine, that comes into balance. There's like a clicking in. And then as a result of that, of you stabilizing that frequency, masculine and feminine, then creation occurs. That is the HEKA codes. Intention plus action equals creation. Divine feminine, divine masculine together, okay, as one, without that activating force, like nothing happens. Creation has to kick in, right? Which is what the message of Osiris is today, which he was saying to me that, you know, the death, the rebirth, okay, resurrection, great, we've ticked all three. But if you don't move into life and take inspired action now to move into the middle realm, then like none of those three really mean anything, actually, you know. And I suppose in a way that's likened to the HEKA codes, which is the alchemy formula, intention plus action. Okay, if you don't apply the result of the intention and action, so you had the idea, okay, let's start to build the action phase. But then when you run full on, full out and go, yeah, I am the full embodiment of this idea and I'm receiving it, and you're out there, like no holding back, then it doesn't ignite. So in a way, there is a final process to this. So this is where we're going through now. Osiris is very much taking us through the resurrection phases. That's why Thoth's coming in next month. I said November was going to be an embodiment month. And then I guarantee by the end of this year, man, it's going to be, it's done. It's done. So we've got a bit of a way to go. Little bit more kind of like refining, but the fact that these divine masculines are coming in now and making themselves very, very prominently known through me, through you, that says something, right? So now let's go through the list of Osiris just for teaching purposes, so you know more about him. So when we move into temple next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. I don't know. Just check. I'm putting out a post today or tomorrow. I can't remember because all the times have changed. But anyway, next Thursday is the temple classroom, okay? And we will be working with his energy. So the more you know about him on paper, as it were, the more that you can take these days now to embody it in your frequency and bring it to temple, right? Lord of the underworld, right? He kind of shares that with Anubis, his son, right? And then the afterlife. Everything is glorious in the afterlife. So we want to pass go and go there, right? Death, rebirth, and resurrection. Fertility, God of paradise, okay? Abundance, obviously, because he's fertility and everything like that. Embodiment, wholeness. He is basically an upholder of Ma'at, because we know about the weighing of the heart. When your life is over and you go and you want to go to the afterlife, you will be put in front of a judicial setting. And there will be the feather of Ma'at. There will be Osiris and Anubis, and there will be Thoth. And there is a whole council that actually bear witness to you and what the answers that you give to the questions. Did you live a joyous life? Should be yes. Did you bring joy to others? Hopefully that's a yes. Then you pass go. If your heart balances evenly with Ma'at's feather, then wonderful. But if your heart is heavier than the feather, then oh dear, off to the underworld you go, but not in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like their version of hell. But I read in a book the other day about that she said beautifully, I really loved what she said. She said, is that really like it's quite brutal, isn't it? Being banished to the underworld forever in hell. Or does it mean that if you didn't live a joyous life and you didn't bring joy, you just got more work to do? So you're going to reincarnate again. You're going to go back down and kind of perfect that a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's very much a message of Sekhmet at the moment as well. On another video, I'm going to be sharing about the feline frequency because that's been very, very powerful as the Lyran energy has been coming into the planet ever such a lot right now. And this is also a big discussion point energetically, that some of us have a bit more work to do and would like to pass go, but unfortunately there's more work to do, avoidance of shadow, and some of us have deep dived into that shadow and we're ready to go. Do you know what I mean? So this is kind of, we are in judgment day right now, and that we're all wearing our hearts, if that makes sense. So there may be more work to do for you, and that's okay, because that's just like tapping into your mastery and going back to do something again and a bit deeper, and this time having the courage to face it. That just adds to your mastery. If you've already done it, then of course, winner. But either way, it's a win-win situation. So it's very much judgment day at the moment. So now let's talk about Osiris and his leadership skills. So he has the crook and flail. So the crook, okay, is basically, the crook is the one that's got the hooky on, and the flail is the whip, right? So when the whip comes about, that's basically, for wrongdoers. Osiris will be like, no, you're not doing that. And then the hook is basically an example of stability, right? Very, very powerful stability. And it's just like, it expresses leadership, So he does that. That's the balance, right? So everything is about balance, right? So now we have Osiris, okay, which is very, very connected to Orion. Same as Isis, she is connected to Sothis, which is Sirius, right? And then helping others pass over, okay? So when we go through a spiritual death or a physical death, you really are going to be working with Osiris. If you are ones that help people pass over, physically dropping the body, you're working with Osiris, 100%. And you're going to be working with Nephthys massively. So these are the presence. This is the presence and the power that you hold within you to do such things, to help the world and the people in it, right? So now, Osiris is also known as Asar. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Asar, same as Orset. That is the original Egyptian names of these beings, because of course there was a big interception with the Greeks and the Romans, so of course their names got changed slightly. But Asar is Osiris's true name, but we all know him as Osiris. So I just thought it'd be interesting to chuck in there. So now, he came to me the other night when I was sat on the steps outside, and I said to him, Osiris, please, can you just make your energy known within me? I need to be able to feel you within me, like I do the other deities. I want to feel like a tingle or just a presence of you. And he said to me one line, and then he disappeared. He said, I've always been with you. You must realize me within. I have always been with you. You must realize me within. He didn't say recognize. He said realize. And I was like, realize and recognize, put those two words together. They're two worlds apart. Even though at distance, they could be deemed the same. But he said realize, and that pricked my ears up, right? So if you look at the definition of realize, there's 3 definitions I want to share with you. To bring into concrete existence, realize, embodiment, resurrection. That's Osiris, right? This is the second one, realized assets, which is actually quite interesting to connect into actual money. So I thought that was interesting that kind of came in as well, that meaning. We was actually talking with a friend about that yesterday because we looked it up and we were like, to convert into actual money. Well, we're always going on about abundance. Osiris is abundance. Isn't that interesting? And then the third definition of realize is to understand a situation sometimes suddenly. So this is what we're doing. We're taking back the layers, having tantrums, getting pissed off with doing so many dark nights and dying. And then all of a sudden you wake up, boom. Oh, and that's what's happening with me. I'm starting to go, hang on a minute. That's that. Oh, that's that. And that's what he was telling me. I've always been in you, but you have to just realize. Yeah. And I've been saying this, take these glasses off, put some different ones on. Have a look, will ya? See that it's all changed. So this is very, very powerful medicine where we are right now. I have a channel that I've shared with Osiris, and it is really, really powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in its written form on the community post so you can see that. But I just wanted to share this kind of like message, as it were, of Osiris, of where we're at and why, and that he's actually just opening the floodgates along with Thoth to now really come into the sacred architecture and sacred structure. So what's going to be happening now is as we resurrect, there's one more step, is then taking action, stepping into life and really living life through the will and through your purpose and through your truth. So it's not going to be enough just to resurrect. Then you need to go forward into life. And that's all going to come into culmination by the end of this year. Exciting! Anyway, guys, this is your portal and opening for the Lord Osiris, Lord of the Underworld, afterlife, death, rebirth, and resurrection, man. But he's like also the God of abundance. And I just think, resurrect, go claim what's yours. Go claim what's yours. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And next Thursday will be temple meeting for more of this. And also as well, for those of you that are still interested or feeling it out to do with Sekhmet, I'm going to make an announcement on the next video about the transpirations in Egypt to do with Sekhmet directly and the power of her medicine right now and how it's going to affect those who walk in Egypt in the future. Ooh, cliffhanger. Gonna leave that one there. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.